all you really need to get high, you don't need coke, you don't need drugs, you don't need alcohol. You just need a rectum and a third eye. You do your breath of fire, for example. Feel your anus, feel your third eye. Inhale. Squeeze that beautiful anal ring and feel it connected with your nuts, your anus, and your third eye, which is basically your pineal gland in the center of the brain at the apex of the ear, slightly to the back. No asshole, no holy hole.
Yeah. We got a lot to talk about. A lot to talk about. A lot to talk about. $3 on the Cash App. Shout out to Uncle Andy in the building. Shout out to everybody that does hit up that Cash App. Shout out to Trisha. We got a goal tonight. $100. $100. We got a goal. Santiago. Wagwan Youth. Pretty Divine is in the building. Yo, I think we gonna have a good show off the bat. I think we're gonna have a good show. Yeah, I know I'm coming with it. Yeah, I know I'm coming with it. Your boy Trump is out here tripping though, right? He's out. He kind of been tripping. I ain't gonna hold you. He kind of been tripping. But at the same time, I did believe in him. It's not like everything could have been a fraud, right? I'm like, nah. I did vote for him for multiple reasons. And the whole tariff thing, people was trying to make it seem like I was bugging. But I'm like, nah, the tariffs actually make sense. And everybody started tripping, right? I mean, you had people on here asking me what was my level of education, asking me, do I understand how tariffs work? Do you understand how tariffs work? I'm like, I think I do. I think I understand how they work. And if I understand how they work, it should pay off. Why should it pay off? It should pay off because I think everyone forgets we are the number one consumers in the world. And why did I come to that conclusion? Simply because we don't make anything. We don't make anything. The rest of the world has really gotten rich because of the United States. Why do you think China's in the position it's in? Just by sheer dragon luck? Do you think it was by happenstance that China just lucked up? Do you think it's Chinese luck that they ended up in the position they're in? To first have been buying up our debt, our bonds. They was buying up the bonds. Yo, we were tripping. United States, we didn't even put a stipulation on who could buy our bonds. So in all reality, we don't make anything. Boom. Then we go to other countries to have them manufacture. Not only just manufacture. That would be one thing. Right? So we're using their workers though. So we're boosting up their economy. These people hold us with so much disdain that you know what they did? It disciplined them. They took the money they made off of us and they disciplined themselves and they vowed revenge. And they said, we have something for you, America. And they brought our debt. No, they was a little bit too rambunctious. China buying up ghost cities, like creating ghost cities is crazy. But, and then when they couldn't do it any longer, Japan stepped in. Yo, I was using my pure logic. And guess what? We're going to see. I was right. And now the tariffs are paying off. But all the people that was like, yo, we're going to end up paying more now. I got to pay more for a toaster, bro. Shut up. Shut up. You don't even need the things that you was buying, bro. Huh? How many rose massages does your girl need, bro? Like, we're buying stupid stuff from China and you're worried that you're going to pay more. Oh, by the way, I will never, ever pay for luxury items from a store again. Not that I did like that before. But shout out to the Chinese that got pissed at Trump because of the tariffs. And then they decided to take out their revenge on the luxury designers. Yo, they've been in my inbox crazy. I seen a crazy pair of Louis Vuitton sneakers, $160. Yes, I'm buying them. Now, I dare you to tell me they're fake. Go ahead. Tell me, yo, those are the fake. Go ahead and sound more ignorant than you are. Go ahead. Say it. Tell me I'm buying fake Prada shoes. Why are they fake? The same people that made the real ones, they with the same machines are making these. You'll be a fool to pay $2,000 for shoes when the value doesn't even hold. It doesn't even hold when you put them on. No. Oh, I hope I can get them for less. I'm going to haggle at that price. Yo, we got to get our show started. It's going to be a good show because I'm definitely on the hard iced tea. I am. I'm off the hard iced tea tonight. I'm trying to see where I want to start. Look, I opened up the show with this here. That little snippet that you played that my daughter was trying to figure out, what are you listening to? It was this right here. This guy, it's this guy's face right here that had me tweaking. He didn't say anything, but he's like, yo, bro, what are you talking about? Right?
All you really need to get high, you don't need coke, you don't need drugs, you don't need alcohol.
His head is so, he looks like Megamind. He's wild. For some reason, this is my vision of Yahushua, the one you call Jesus Christ. For some reason, I think Jesus Christ really looked like this, minus the headphones. He's out here tweaking.
You just need a rectum and a third eye. You do your breath of fire, for example. Feel your anus, feel your third eye. Inhale. Squeeze that beautiful anal ring and feel it connected with your nuts, your anus, and your third eye, which is basically your pineal gland in the center of the brain at the apex of the ear, slightly to the back.
Amazing.
No asshole, no holy hole.
Nah, bro. You go too far, bro. You go too far. I don't know why you have rings and all these things, but I can tell you for a fact, you go too far. All right, we'll get into some more Instagram shorts later. Right now, I want to get into the topic at hand. Trump firing the Bureau of Labor Statistics chief because she told the truth? That's wild and bananas. Let's get into it. Oh man, I got such a good show lined up tonight because all of these, everything I'm gonna say to you now, I've been said before, so I just kind of feel vindicated. Yo, Kush was good. We got Kush in the building. Let's use the BBC News. Let's use BBC News. All right. All right, here we go. Trump fires lead official on economic data as tariffs cause market. Is that the one I want? Trump fires lead official on economic data as tariffs cause market drop. Let's read it. U.S. President Donald Trump has fired the boss of one of America's most important economic institutions hours after weaker than expected jobs data stoked further alarm about his tariff policy. You guys think that... Well, first of all, let's do this the right way. Let me just tell you this. First of all that you know is a lie. Everyone's lying to you, except Jamel Saladin. I don't know if Dr. Umar is lying to you. I don't know if he's lying. I don't know. Everyone else is lying to you. I believe that more people are aligned with the Jesuits. And the reason I'm bringing up the Jesuits is because they have a strange, funny tactic where they send some people, right? It's one organization, but their whole thing is like is to apparently cause confusion, right? Allegedly, I'll say. Because they'll have members of one organization, but they purposely designate people to go out and do something on the left. And then, and I'm not talking politics, I'm just saying it'd be totally different. They'll send people out for, say, opposite things, to achieve opposite things. We'll take a look at this tonight. So you don't know who to trust, right? You figure, oh, this person is saying the right thing. And then you find out they have a deep-rooted history with the Jesuits and the CIA. And it's like, damn. You was saying the right thing, though, but damn. Is this an MK Ultra program? Now, having said that, I see a lot of people blaming Trump's tariffs on unemployment. And good for you if you're watching the live tonight, because immediately after this video will be going to members only. Nah, I give up too much good content not to. A lot of freeloaders. People don't want to hit the like button. People don't want to subscribe. And we trying to raise $100 tonight. That's the goal. Hit that Cash App. Minus the usual suspects. Minus the usual suspects. $5, $10. I'm not talking about you giving $100 by yourself. Hit that Cash App with the $3. All of it is going to add up. All of it's going to add up. Now, let's get into the show, bro. Where do I start? Let's start with the tariffs.
How much revenue have you brought in so far just from tariffs, Secretary?
So last month it averaged just over 30 billion, and as of last night, midnight, the tariffs went up. I think we're going to be heading towards 50 billion a month in tariff revenue that no one's talked about except for the president. So think about 50 billion a month.
Yeah, nobody's going to talk about that because here's the thing. When people hate someone, they can't never admit that that person is right in any aspect. So no one's going to talk about that. Okay, you hate Donald Trump. I get it, right? But if he's right about something, like, why do you have to make it seem like nothing that he does is good? I didn't particularly like Biden, but there was some things that his administration, I don't know about him. He was out to lunch for a very long time. But it was some things that his administration that they put in place I was on board with. And I wasn't so extreme that I couldn't admit that, hey, you know what? I like this green initiative that you guys got going on. I like it. Because let me tell you something. I'm not on board with coal. I'm not on board. No, they have been doing the same thing for almost 2 centuries. They keep retarding our progression. The United States, particularly. And quite frankly, the rest of the world is ready to move on. No one's tied to the petrodollar anymore. It's a different world. That's why they had so much say. Because that petrodollar kept people in line. But let me tell you something. Just like when Tory Lanez accidentally found out what an NFT could actually do. I think he stumbled across it. It landed him in jail and almost got him killed. And who's to say if he will still be killed? But he stumbled across something. And this is when I say evolve and adapt. This is what I'm talking about. You adapt to your circumstance. Okay, everything's going digital. Tory Lanez didn't sit there and cry. He started playing around with the digital thing. He stumbled across something. Got a little bit too excited, jumped in the pool, and he was arrested 10 days later and thrown in jail for 10 years, right? Because he made $1 million in an hour. And not only was he going to continue to make millions of dollars, his fans was going to continue to make millions of dollars, and he didn't need distribution. Oh, they threw his monkey ass in jail. They did. Free Tory Lanez. Shout out to this guy. So we adapt. We have to adapt. But the United States, you know, old steel baron families, old people with money. And when I say old, I don't mean age-wise. I'm just talking about wealthy families with money, getting used to how they've been getting it. But no, you can't. You just can't. If you notice, if you look up, one person doesn't remain the richest person in the world forever, right? They could be the richest person this year, and then in another year, they're not the richest person anymore. Why? Because things are just dynamic and change. Mainly how we do things. So by us putting sanctions on Russia found out their dollar was actually good. Their currency was actually, people would still want it. Whatever they was getting from Russia, they still wanted. They still wanted it. Russia said, "Yo, we're off the what's the thing called? I'm not gonna hold up the show, even though I have OCD, and it'll come to me, but they couldn't." Basically, somebody will put it in the chat, but they could not trade using their they couldn't convert their dollar, their ruble, to the dollar, right? That was the sanction. So if you wanted to do business with them, you had to straight up do currency for currency, and it pushed Russia to the 4th largest strongest economic country in the world, right? And on top of that, they're part of the BRICS. Well, people had new ideas after that, Jack. We got new ideas. We don't need your petrodollar that obviously you've been pushing into the ground for decades. We might have to listen to Robert Welch tonight from the speech he gave at the Birch Society. Might have to listen to a little bit of his. He gave that speech in the 50s? Telling how the United States is trying to destroy the dollar. Are these things by happenstance? I don't know. But check this out. The tariffs worked. How about those? How about those apples? Yeah, why wouldn't they? They worked before. Right? Why? I didn't understand why y'all thought the tariffs wouldn't bring in money. They talk about the tariffs are projected to bring in trillions of dollars a month. Now, the question is, where does that go? But it's really, like I said before, it's not rocket science because we are consumers. We're docile consumers. They've dumbed us down. They've dumbed our kids down. John D. Rockefeller, he said, I do not want a nation full of thinkers. I want a nation full of workers. And by God, he got what he wanted. Here we are today.
How much revenue have you brought in so far just from tariffs, Secretary?
So last month it averaged just over 30 billion, and as of last night, midnight, the tariffs went up. I think we're going to be heading towards 50 billion a month in tariff revenue that no one's talked about except for the president. So think about 50.
Now, Pretty Divine says tariffs actually really hurt the consumers of the USA. Yeah, they do. That's how I knew it was going to make money for the USA. Now, if you want to understand my logic, here's my logic. Like I said before, we don't export these things that we buy. Otherwise, we would be making them here. You don't turn over anything and it says made in America. The companies used to be here, and the companies are here, but they, through globalization, what they do is they outsource all the work overseas. We'll talk about H-1 visa tonight, too. Shout out to J.D. Vance, the only one I really see fighting for these American jobs to go to Americans. I don't know why that's a strange concept. But let me say this, Pretty Divine. Here's why we're gonna make money. And I said this, right? Everyone's like, oh, we're gonna pay more. Check this out. Don't buy it. That's number one. But they have to get rid of these things because we consume so much. China is not gonna. You know how many factories? All right, if you haven't heard my story, when I lived in LA, I didn't have a job. I got a job like the last month I was there at the Home Depot. But the whole time I was there, I worked for myself selling what you guys called knockoffs. I never argued with people that they weren't knockoffs because they wouldn't understand, right? I'm with the Africans. I'm with the Chinese. They've been told me what you guys are just finding out. It's the same thing. I make the Prada in the day, and then when the doors close, I make the Prada at night. You want these? You buy them from me right now. It was the same guy making all of it. Why would you pay $2,000 more? Hold on. Let me see if I can show you something. Let me show you something. Hold on. Let me show you something. I want to show you something. I don't know if I could have saved. Did I save? Oh, I might have to go to WhatsApp. Don't nobody go anywhere. I want to show you something. Let me go to WhatsApp. I have WhatsApp on my computer. See if I can open up some of these messages I got on WhatsApp. Speaking to the Chinese. Don't nobody go nowhere. I know I got WhatsApp on here. There we go. There goes the WhatsApp. Open it up. I need to show these people something. All right, while this is opening up, let me finish my logic. Because we consume so much and because they manufacture so much, it was just logic that these people they have to get rid of this stuff, right? Otherwise, they're just going to be sitting on this stuff. Hold on. I want to see if I can. I don't want to show you all my contacts and who I've been talking to. So I want to see if there's a way to close that. Give me a second while I try to figure this out. I don't want to show all of this. Okay, let's do it like this. All right. So this is what I'm on a live. What's up, babe? So I was talking to the Chinese last night, right? The same Chinese I've been talking to for years, for decades. I didn't just start talking to these people. I've been doing business with these same Chinese people for decades, since I was in my 20s buying stuff from 28th Street and taking it to California to sell, taking it to Texas to sell. I've been doing this on my own, right? I went out to Texas by myself. I told you guys a story, right? So speaking to them and the Africans, because you had to know some people, they did not want the American Negro involved. They did not want the American Negro involved. They only wanted the American Negro as a consumer. Let that sink in, American Negro. No one's coming to help you, by the way, American Negro. You have to help yourself. And at this point, if you can't like read the room, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, right? But everyone else is catching on. Now, if you still want to go out here and pay $2,000, $2,500 for these shoes to make it seem like you did something, then you go ahead and be a jackass. You go ahead and do that. Matter of fact, get them from me. Get them from your boy. I'll sell them to you. Huh? Yeah. They got the box and everything. Certificates and all that. $160. Yeah, all of this, and you could thank Trump, by the way, because they only did this because they're upset that Trump is putting the tariffs on everything. Oh, you want to do that? All right, cool. We're going to tell everybody that we've been making all of the luxury stuff. Fine. All type of Louis Vuitton shoes back there. Not everything I see. I'm not a label whore, so not everything they make is I do I find attractive or whatever, nice. But some of the stuff they make is nice. All of it. I would not be spending any top dollar for none of this. And you could thank your boy Donald Trump, because they're only doing it to spite America because of his tariffs and the fact that if people don't buy it, it's just going to sit in the warehouse like you see it right now, just like I'm showing you, right? If people don't buy the stuff they make, you want to send things over here, I'm throwing a tariff on it, right? These is mainly electronics and stuff like that. But whatever it is, we're throwing a tariff on it. I would like to tell you, by the way, it's not really a season for spending willy-nilly. We're not in that season. In a second, I'm going to talk about jobs. Jobs are being lost. In a second, I'm going to talk about jobs. Jobs are being lost to what? 3 things. The innovation of the combination of AI, robotics, and automation. I'm going to say that again. Not because Dr. Umar likes to repeat himself 3 times, but because I didn't think you was listening to me the first time. So I'm going to say that again. Jobs are being lost because of 3 things. The innovation of automation, robotics, and artificial intelligence. That's a job killer. Keep on listening, because this didn't just happen. This didn't just happen. This has been happening, and I've been telling you about it right here on this show. For months.
Welcome, friends, to another edition of Wolf Responds. I call this one Statistics, the Real Issue. I'm going to start with the issue that isn't so real, the one we all know about. When President Trump fired the commissioner in charge of the Bureau of Labor Statistics because she had the very bad taste of issuing the statistics in the way that the Bureau normally does, letting them...
Shout out to her. She was just doing her job. I think that was poor taste, Mr. Trump. I'm not going to lie. It was very poor taste that you fired this woman because she told the truth. Well, damn. So what he did was he figured, okay, you're from the Biden administration anyway, so I did not, I didn't choose you as my Bureau of Labor statistician, as my Bureau of Labor statistician. I didn't hire you. You came from Sleepy Joe's camp. So I understand his jittery anxiety when it comes to sabotage. It wouldn't be the first time it looked like somebody was trying to sabotage him, make him look like a liar. You don't know what to believe at this point. Like, you know that the world is a stage and all the people on it are actors, but this story is playing out crazy, because at this point it does appear that none of government really you can trust, right? After Dan Bongino, I was very disappointed. I really thought, man, the way Dan Bongino used to talk on his podcast, I used to listen all the time. I was an avid listener. And damn, if American Citizen was a podcast, that's the energy you got from Dan Bongino when you listen to his podcast. This is before he ever thought that Trump would ever pick him for anything, for groundskeeper. Shout out to Groundskeeper's Willie from The Simpsons, who always keeps himself in shape. Right? He didn't have no idea Then I'm pretty sure he got excited, like, yo, I might be on the way back. Original man, I see you, God. Peace, Lord. Michael Wilbur, what's up, bro? And I'm not going to lie. I was excited. I said, yo, the lineup is crazy. We got Dan Bongino. I don't know that much about Cash Patel, but guess what? Dan Bongino going to keep Cash in line. That's how I felt. We got Tulsi. She was out here spilling the beans on the minerals under the Ukraine soil. It just seemed like we had an amazing lineup. Don't you hate when you got an amazing lineup and then it's game time and then it just all fall apart? That never really happened to the Chicago Bulls 95, 96, 94, 95, 96. Shout out to the Knicks. Shout out to the Knicks, 94, 95, 96. Y'all couldn't never make it happen. But it didn't even matter. It didn't have to be a championship game. When the Knicks played the Bulls 94, 95, 96, it was always like a championship game. A lot of L's, though. A lot of L's. Y'all had good players, but a lot of L's. Y'all can talk about it in the chat if you want. Remember the famous finger roll? Disgusting. Anyway, let's get back to this, America. We had a crazy lineup. Versus Biden's lineup. Yo. Nothing against trans people, right? Don't get me wrong, right? I'm not for trans being like a group that we need to normalize. Don't get me wrong. But I'm not for hating people either. Like, I'm not for that. Right? I feel like if you're a man that wants to wear a dress, but just don't go in the ladies' room. That's how I'm on it, right? Because we're going to pound your silly ass out, right? You was out of order for wearing a dress in the first place, right? But we wasn't going to pound you out. It wasn't until you touched the knob and tried to tell me your pronouns. Now I feel like we got to mop your ass out for being silly. Did anybody ask your pronouns, sucker? I'm sorry. All I know is you trying to go in the ladies' room, my brother. Now, if you don't sit your ass down somewhere, right? Now, Biden had a trans as the Secretary of Health. That's when we knew this is all going down. This is all going downhill. This is all going downhill, right? And they tried to normalize that thing. Hit the like button. Hit the like button because 12 people just left because I was talking about trans. I don't give a shit. Take all your trans with you. Don't get me wrong. Poker Face Society applications are open. So what I would say is trans, put your application in to be a member over here. Who knows? Don't think you're going to get turned down like, oh, he's talking shit about trans, I'll never get it. You don't know that. You don't know that, bro. You don't know that. If you try to tell me your pronouns, you're not getting in. All right? Just put in your app. Let's start there. Let's start slow. Just put in your app. All that silly shit about, yo, my pronouns, yo, you're barred. Have the deacons usher your silly ass right out of the Poker Face Society. Please don't come back either. Please don't come back. Yeah. But if you think you was just born different and you like, yo, Saladin, bro, I feel like a girl. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just like to dress up sometimes. But I don't fuck with kids. I ain't on no funny business. All right. What's your profession? Well, I do taxes and I like to do taekwondo and a little fishing. Okay. I'm going to hear you out. Yep. It's different over here. Don't think we just haters. There's a method to our... I don't even think we're mad. There's just a method to us. Right? Sniff you out. So you might be on some bullshit. Shout out Mr. Wolf. He's breaking some things down. I'm sorry. Let Mr. Wolf finish breaking some shit down. I'm sorry.
Of issuing the statistics in the way that the Bureau normally does.
Right.
Letting us know what the unemployment rate is these days, how many people are out of work and looking,
right,
and so on.
Right.
And adjusting the previous 2 months, which they always do.
Okay. Now, how many months I've been telling you, how many years have I been telling you this is what they do? They come out every month and say, yo, we created 100,000 jobs this month. And then the next month, they change the number to a dramatically small number. Right? So while everybody else was on YouTube trying to get likes and subscribe by doing stupid shit, setting themselves on fire, going to war, almost dying. No. I said, let me sit over here and do the right thing. And the people that need to be listening, they'll find me. If they're searching for someone who's talking sense and making sense, they'll find me when the time is needed. Yeah, because I was listening to guys like this. Him, Peter Schiff. They were putting me on to game. They was letting me know. And I was like, oh, this is a dirty game. They're getting everybody riled up. When in all actuality, the lying, because that's what we're going to call it. It wasn't just like, oh, a few numbers slipped. No, the mistakes were like way off, right? Changing the numbers from 100,000 to 10,000, that's not a small mistake. This is at this point, this is a tactic that you use to deceive your citizens. And that's what they've been doing. Now, combine that with quantitative easing. Like, there's so many other variables why our economy is the way it is. And it is ultimately a pyramid scheme. That's what it is, a pyramid scheme. The moment you left, they took the dollar off of the gold or silver standard. Took them off both. And they replaced it with a goddamn IOU. Well, then it was a wrap. It was a wrap.
Because it takes more than a month or two to collect and review all the statistics. And her statistical report indicated that unemployment is worse this month than we hoped it would be. And she revised downward the employment numbers for 2 previous months. So we're now looking at a quarter of a year, which, as many economists, left-wingers, right-wingers, and those in the middle, had foreseen.
They've been doing this. They've been doing this. Shout out to my boy Peter Schiff.
You make no friends in the pits and you take no prisoners. 1 minute you're up $500,000 in soybeans and the next, boom, your kids don't go to college and they've repossessed your Bentley. Are you with me?
The revolution starts now.
We have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it.
Turn those machines back on!
You are about to enter the Peter Schiff Show.
Show me the money!
If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth.
Crazy. This guy's a whole actor. Put in place by the mob. Ronald Reagan. Everything that you know is damn lies. And it's hard. It's going to be hard. It's going to be a cognitive dissonance there. Especially when it comes to the religion and stuff. I see a lot of people, they subscribe to me and then they unsubscribe once I start getting on their religion. You gotta unbrainwash yourself. I can't do it all for you. This dude was a cowboy actor, man. Slapping around women in his films. Then he makes it to president?
Peter Schiff Show is on.
I don't know when they decided that they wanted to make a virtue out of selfishness.
Your money, your stories, your freedom. The Peter Schiff Show.
Why's your intro so long, Pete? Let's shorten this up, man.
Well, Friday was the first day of August, and the first Friday of every new month, we get the jobs report, right? The non-farm payroll report that comes out from the Department of Labor. It happens to be the biggest economic data point that comes out. Although now, the inflation numbers, the CPI, PPI, are actually given a lot more weight than they used to, given that Fed moves now seem to hang on the inflation numbers. But the job numbers have been very important for years and years. I mean, I remember when it was the trade deficits that were the most important monthly number.
I love listening to people smarter than me because you get a chance to learn, right? I get a chance to learn. So in this one episode, I did, everything he's talking about now with the trade deficits, and there were some other things he spoke about. I had no idea. Here's some advice. When you don't understand, don't immediately turn it off. Just sit there and let it play, because some things you're going to catch. You won't catch everything because you're new to the conversation, and your intellect has to adapt to it, but it will. But it's kind of like working out in the gym, right? If you go in there and you keep fucking around with the 10-pound bells every day because it's comfortable, then that's what your muscles are gonna. That's what you're gonna get. That result, like looking like you out here working out with 10-pound bells every day. But if you go in there and challenge yourself a little bit, things will start to shaping out.
Waited on pins and needles for the trade deficits. And that's when people were actually worried about the big trade deficits. Now that nobody worries about them, even though they're much bigger, nobody even reports the trade deficit really, let alone anticipates it. But it used to be a big market mover. You would see big swings in the currency markets, the bond market, the stock market, when the trade numbers came out. Well, now you see the bigger swings in all those markets based on the jobs number. Now, anybody who's been a regular listener to this podcast,
me,
knows that I've been very critical of the accuracy of these numbers.
This is a fact. You are the one who taught me, Mr. Schiff. I had no idea this was a normal practice to tell the people one number and then the very next month kind of mumble that, hey, by the way, those numbers that we came out last month actually are wrong. Oh, slightly, only 90,000. We were only off by 90,000. Nothing to get alarmed about. But anyway,
especially the last two job reports, because the last two job reports were both beats where the number came out bigger or stronger, however you want to describe it, than what the consensus forecast had been. Now, the bars were pretty low. They weren't expecting a lot of job creation. I think it was maybe around 125, 130,000. So that's not a lot of jobs to be created. But that's what everybody was looking for. And because the bar was set low, we were able to beat it. Right? The numbers came out better than were expected. And that was always the headline. Better than expected job creation. Donald Trump was the first to claim credit for the better jobs data. Wall Street claimed credit. 2 months ago, when we got the better than expected jobs report, gold dropped, I think, $40 that day. The dollar was stronger too, but we had a $40 drop in the price of gold. And the whole decline was due to the beat, right? The stronger than expected jobs report. Last month, when we got another beat, gold was down about $20. So $60 off on the price of gold because of two jobs numbers that were better than estimates. Now, if you remember, what did I say? And you could just, roll the tape and go back and look at my last two podcasts that I did following.
You kind of repeat everything every podcast. You know what I'm saying? I just be waiting for you to say it, and you always say it, Mr. Schiff. So I'm not downplaying you. I'm just saying you have always said these things that they're just now talking about. So it didn't surprise me that that lady said what she said, and then Trump fired her for it.
The jobs report. You could also go look at my X feed and see what I had to post about the numbers. But I said it is ridiculous that anybody is celebrating these numbers.
That's right.
That Trump is bragging about them.
Mm-hmm.
That markets are moving on them because I said they're not real. They are going to be revised down. Now, how did
That's crazy. This is a pyramid scheme. This is this is crazy. This is madness. This is Sparta. What? Markets are moving off of this data. People are making decisions off of this data, and they know the data is flawed. This is crazy. Hit the like button. Hit the like button on your way in. I'm not gonna hold you tonight. We trying to hit a mark. We got a goal tonight. That's my Cash App, right? A lot of you people, you want to comment, but you can't comment on because unless you're a subscriber. That's number one. So if you want to say your piece, then subscribe to the channel. Figure it out. I can't hold your hand forever. Second of all, congratulations to you on being on this live, because the moment this live is over, it's going to members only, and you won't be able to re-see it again unless you become a member. I'm not fucking around going into the 2030 agenda. No. I got plans. I got trailers to convert into small houses, right? And we ain't gonna do that off of pipe dreams. We're gonna do this off of goddamn donations, right? So the goal tonight is $100, and it doesn't have to be $100 from one person. The top goal I'm talking about. So you figure we got 40 people in here. Everybody give $3. That's it. I don't want to hear your shit. Everybody give $3 to the Cash App. Now, getting back to this, Mr. Peter Schiff. Let him work, right? Don't nobody go nowhere, right? Because I will be talking about the Bluetooth technology that's possibly in the vaccine, according to David Icke. According to David Icke. We're going to talk about it tonight. I might even show you my conversation that I had with ChatGPT about this. I ask ChatGPT questions all the time I know the answer to, just to see if it's going to lie to me. It definitely tried to not tell me the truth. Then I brought up some shit, and it was like, yo, now you talking my language. Now I'm talking your language. A second ago, you thought you was teaching me some shit. I just asked you to see if you was going to fucking lie to me, bro. Because I wanted to see how the new ChatGPT 0.5. I wanted to see the temperature on 5. 5 is out. 5 is released. Right? But don't make me go over to Grok. Don't make me start using super AI ChatGPT. I don't want to do it. We've been together for a while. Keep lying, though, and I'm going to replace your silly ass. Go ahead. Keep it up, ChatGPT. Keep it up. See if I don't fucking replace you with a new GPT. Knock it off with the lying. Right? All right. So we do got some other stories to get into tonight. But the top story is Trump firing this Bureau of Labor statistician mainly because she told the truth. He's going to make it seem like she was a saboteur. A saboteur. I don't think she was a saboteur. I don't think she cared either way about any poll. I don't think she had blind allegiance to the Biden administration. I just don't buy that. And it's kind of messed up that she worked so hard to just get ahead in life, right? And then at the end of the day, you're a victim of things that you can't even control, things that you don't care about. You don't care about this party against this party. You just trying to build up your a legacy. You know that woman has a doctorate? She'll find another job. But who said she wanted to leave office so fast? Like, she loved what she did. So she just told the truth. So she just told the truth, and she got penalized for it.
I know they were going to be revised down, which of course they were, and I'm going to get to that. But I knew that because all the numbers are pretty much revised down. In fact, prior to the revisions that we just got, the prior 4 months had all been downward revisions.
The prior 4 months? Come on, Pete. Come on, Pete. How about the last 8 months, bruh? How about the last 8 months? Now, if you want the real story, here's the real story. They can't yell fire in a crowded stadium. We have to go on with life, and things will adjust. But they're not going to tell you the truth. Now, I will say this administration is not treating people who want to say the truth as bad as the last administration. That was some Gestapo business there, right? They had fact checkers everywhere, and even when you told the truth, they just got rid of your page. Like, it was crazy. But so far, they've been allowing me to rock over here. So I'm going to tell you like it is. I was the one who told you anyway that they want to put an IP address on you. This is way before I even heard David Icke say anything about a freaking Bluetooth in the vaccine. The Bluetooth code. We'll take a listen to David Icke. But you want to know, well, why would I come to that conclusion? Well, it was the 2016 European Global Summit. When I looked at the itinerary and I looked at how many people they got excited about two things at this summit: nanotechnology and graphene. The world went, these elites got crazy. So I had to look up what graphene was, and when I found out what it did, that it was transparent, it was flexible, it was stronger than diamond and steel, it was thinner than a human hair, but the most important thing out of all those characteristics is that it was conductive. I said, oh boy. So, if it has the ability to strengthen a signal, strengthen an attenuation of a signal, ooh. I was just thinking like they would think. Because I already know the dollar's going digital. Everything's going on the blockchain. Everything. Oh, you hear a lot of musicians complaining right now. Oh, I'm not getting paid. You're not getting paid because we have not completed the transition from physical fiat money to digital fiat money. That's why you're not getting paid. The moment there is no more physical dollars floating around the planet, and everything is digital, then you will get your money, bro. Easy. This was the concept behind an NFT. This is the concept, all of it. Put it all together, but stop thinking selfishly, and then you will see the plan. But you fell for their bullshit when they told you, oh, one painting, one NFT of 2 stupid-looking apes sold for $500,000. And then everybody started trying to make stupid-looking pictures. Hunter Biden he done got out here and sold a little bit of artwork too. Huh? Who remembers that? Of course you remember the cocaine fiasco, but do you remember when he sold a painting for $500,000 at the White House? Yeah, we got to talk about a lot tonight. Don't worry about it. I just want I want Peter Schiff to cook. Right? If you're over here for the first time too, hit the like button, do subscribe to the channel. Glad to have you here on a Friday night. You could be anywhere doing anything. You over here chilling with your boy. That's cool. I'm off this hard iced tea. And this is, we just have an intellectual conversation. It may get wild because I'm a wild boy and I'm not politically correct. But we'll get there.
They announced on Friday downward revisions to May and June. So we've now had 6 consecutive downward revisions.
6
from the initial estimates.
Right.
And that means every single jobs report that we've had since Trump's been president was revised down.
But you already knew that. But you can't say it like that, Pete, because they're going to think that this was a Trump thing. And you know damn well it wasn't Trump that was revising. They were revising things down before that man got into office. This is just how government has been working, and they can sit here and act like they're against each other. That's a play for us, so we could feel like we're part of a team. Oh, I'm Democratic and I'm Republican. No, we're fucking fools and sheep headed to the slaughter is what we are. Headed to the slaughter. Unless you adjust your normalcy right now. I don't want to hear nobody bragging about paying for overpriced clothes and overpriced luxuries that's not the era that we in. I don't care what commercials they putting out there on the TV. Making it seem like it's all good, right? They got you in a zone, a straight zone. They figured out an algorithm for you, and they create this euphoric, utopian virtual reality custom for your liking. And it affects you, right? You're thinking everything could be, well, you're ready to give up someone that loves you because you've seen somebody else on Instagram. And you thinking, why can't my life be like that? I hear you. You're going to figure it out in a second. Black people, I'm still disappointed. And let me rephrase this. American black people, I'm very disappointed in how things are going on in our field of things. And it's okay because we're all family here, right? So don't think I'm gonna pull you to the side and like, listen, no, I'm gonna say this in front of everybody because I need you to get your shit together. We still taking pride in ignorance. So when the hammer drops, I don't want to hear you complaining that you got the short end of the stick and, oh, this is racist. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. This is racist. Yo, you had enough time. You had enough time. You still talking that racist shit. You still looking for, you out here asking for reparations. It was very clear they wasn't giving you nothing. I don't know why you would sit there in front of these people and keep on asking, yo, no, but we deserve reparations. Yo, check this out. They're not giving it. Now, go do something. Go figure something else out. Don't sit there asking for reparations. They don't want to give you education. They knew your kids couldn't read. And you know what they did to prepare for it? They built prisons for them. Stupid shit I see on social media. We got to do better.
And it means all the reports that the markets reacted to as being beats were actually misses. Meaning that had they reported the correct number initially,
right,
the markets would have done the opposite of what they actually did based on this bad data. Now, if this was just a random miss, right? If the data was just unreliable, right? And they have to correct it, you would expect that half the revisions would be up and half would be down. It's like tossing a coin, right? It's either up or down if it's random.
Right.
The fact that we've revised down 6 consecutive.
You keep on saying 6, Pete. I don't know if you're trying to be nice, but you know goddamn well, because I've been, listen, the reason I'm so adamant about this is because I learned this from Peter Schiff. I listened to him just as hard as I listened to Dan Bongino. So I know how long he's been talking about this. So it has not been 6 consecutive months. You got to add 4 more months before he even got in. So we're talking about close to a damn year. Definitely since September. August, I'm going to tell you. You got to go back to last August. That's 1 year of revised labor statistics, lying about the job market. And it's only going to get worse. I'll let you finish cooking, Pete. Sorry.
Numbers means it's not random. There is a flaw in the methodology for reporting the jobs, at least at the initial stage. So whether it's by accident or by design, right? And the skeptic in me would say it's by design, right? Maybe there's no coincidences when it comes to government.
Peter Schiff. Is that Jew? I think it is Jew. I bring that up because you said by design. Who do you think designed it? Who do you think designed this? A little guy named Paul Wahlberg, German Jew. Shout out to the Jews. Did you think he was going to get away with through this whole show tonight? You thought I wasn't going to say shit? He's on the blacks tonight. Yeah, for a little while. But it's like talking to my fucking self, talking to them. They they don't give a shit. They are crash out. They don't care, Jews. They don't care. Huh? Like the same way you don't care, Jews. You know what I'm saying? I talk to the Jews. They don't care. They don't really give a shit. But the only difference is the Jews are filthy rich. So they'll patronize me listening to me. But do you think they're going to stop being rich? Do you think they're going to stop? Nah, Saladin's right. They're not going to fucking listen to me either. Everyone's polarized. I know something, though. You better pay attention. You got 5 years to adjust to whatever's coming down the pipeline. And I say whatever as if I don't know what's coming down, but I do know. But you listen to my show, so you know too what's coming down the pipeline. You have 5 years. Shout out to JD Vance. I see the job Here's what I see. This is why it seems like the job market is getting a little bit better, but it's really not. But here's what's happening. They are starting to clean up some of this H-1B visa bullshit. They are. And they're fighting. They're acting like they cared, some of these companies, but they're still fighting for the applications. But a lot of these people on H-1B visas are getting kicked out, right? And it's returning jobs to eligible people, competent Americans, eligible Americans that deserve those jobs. How in the hell? I mean, greed, man. This is not rocket science. You have to have jobs for Americans. But the capitalists that make money, they spend their money smoozing up to the politicians, and these bullshit politicians, they cave. They give in. The people that you voted to get to Washington. Yeah. They smoke their fucking brandy and their fucking Winston Churchill cigar. They smoke their Winston Churchill cigars and they drink their brandy. After you got them there and make deals that will screw you in the end. America, I'm not telling you something because I'm an extremist right now. I'm not telling you something because I'm not upset. I'm just telling you what it is. I went through it. I went through 3 years of trying to get back into 2 industries that were completely sabotaged by H-1B visa. I was in two sections of 2 industries. I was in the technology industry for like over 10 years. And I also had my own trucking company. What would be the chances that H-1B would affect both? Did you know that they were flying in Indians and Africans to drive trucks over here? And that's part of the reason the damn wages used to go down on the load board? They had people over here accepting to do the job for fucking peanuts. And I used to see these guys at the rest stop. At the trucker stop, you know what I'm saying? Guys that had converted fucking trucks into trucks you don't even really need a CDL for. They would convert them shits into sleepers, and they was in there non-stop. Wheels was burning. Well, it's not rocket science again. It's supply and demand. But we wouldn't have a surplus of drivers if first of all, if this wasn't allowed. And it was only allowed because our politicians signed off on this to appease capitalists. I'm not against capitalism. Don't get it twisted. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying someone has to have common sense. Capitalists are not. Someone has to have sense, common sense, right? You don't even need to go to Yale or Harvard to see that that's going to hurt America at some point. And it did. So what are you going to do? Now you're going to print more money to subsidize the hurt people that's here. And how long you been doing that? You've been doing it for a while, just printing money willy-nilly. Well, guess what? That's going to have an effect. Right? This has to cause some type of inflation, slight or aggressive. This is just common sense. I'm not a goddamn economist. I'm just using a little bit of sense up top. You can't oversaturate the industry with these dollars. The world with these dollars. You're just printing them willy-nilly. And then to make up so it's not so obvious, you print up more money to, hey, here's food, here's rent. So we were already headed to this universal basic income, whether we know it or not. It's coming though. Don't you be dismayed. Pretty Divine said, what's the best nation? Donation. And these are the facts. Give me a second. Peter Schiff is out here making a lot of sense. But I'm going to go to a lighter note right now. We'll get back to that in a second.
What does COVID-19 stand for?
Nope, not right now.
How many people realize that those that had the full-blown jab, not everybody did, but because, enough people have died already without.
All right, this is David Icke. If you don't know him, he's from Australia. He's written a number of books. Many people would say are conspiracy theory books. But I'm not one of those people that's going to say conspiracy theories. Even the term conspiracy theory is a conspiracy, right? That was made up to debunk the truth. So that people would, you had Alan Dulles was in charge of the investigation of the guy who fired him and then mysteriously got shot in the head. What? I'm sorry. Weren't you fired? How did you become the goddamn head point of contact and the lead investigator for this assassination? Well, maybe you had something to do with it, obviously. Anyway, David Icke is out here saying that if you got the jab, then there's a good chance that you have a code, a Bluetooth code. I'll let him tell it.
Giving it full blown to everybody, there were so many people would have been keeling over. They wouldn't have been able to cover it up. But how many know that those that had the full blown jab have now got a Bluetooth code in the body? I've watched.
Here's the thing, David. I don't think you can just say willy-nilly things like that because they're going to keep calling you a conspiracy theorist, bro. You just can't, just say random things with no type of proof, bro. That part I don't agree with, right? It's not that I don't believe you. Because in all reality, Dave, I've been saying this way before you even said this. Ask my listeners. I've been saying this. Remember when they tried to act like they didn't have enough for everybody and you guys fell for that? Then you started fighting about, well, I should get it first. And that's what they wanted you to do the whole time. They wanted you to ask for it. Always remember, they want you to ask for it. It's vampirical culture, right? They want you to ask them. Didn't you see Sinners? The vampire couldn't get in unless he what? He was invited in. So they want you to say, hey, can you take our guns? Well, how are they going to get you to say, take our guns? Well, one way is if we run that old MK Ultra program that we got to get a Manchurian candidate to get out here and shoot up a bunch of local youths. These are not rational people we're dealing with, by the way. I dare say we're not all the same humanoids. We're not. I don't think we're all the same humanoid species. We may be Homo sapiens sapien. And by the way, I don't know how long that title is going to stick around, because if your DNA, if your genetics is altered, and there's some type of nanotechnology in your genetics, especially as a species, they may reclassify us. Now, what we do know is that Constitution was written for Homo sapiens sapiens. It wasn't written for hybrids. At this point, what do? Do we scrap the Constitution? It wasn't written for mutants. Shout out to Joseph Burbo is in the building. He mentioned burgers, and I immediately thought about de Blasio saying, wait, are you saying I can get fries with Shout out to de Blasio with the black wife. Huh? Never once did de Blasio try to act like he was the soul brother because he had a black wife. He never tried to tell me where you could get the best Jamaican food at late at night. I know where to get it. 219th in White Plains Road, Gold Star. Open all night long. Yeah. I know where to get it. But Kamala Harris, she's out here telling me how, child, they used to call me to wash the collard greens. My lady, you a full-blooded Indian. We've never called you. We've never, ever called you to make collard greens for none of us. I assure you this. Shout out to Kamala Harris. Jesus Christ. Yo, Joseph, X-Men is real. X-Men, mutants are real. China is working on super soldiers. Like, once we discovered we can alter the... Here's the thing. And it's crazy because it'll show you mankind's, like, their real view on things, right? So we find out after we went for decades through just sequencing the DNA. Then, as you guys know, in the early 90s, anyway, that's how history says it. It could have been the 80s or the 70s as far as we know. But as the story goes, in the 90s, CRISPR-Cas9 allowed the editing of the gene. And some people, they thought, okay, how can we make humanity better? And you know the crazy thing? Some people immediately thought, yo, how can I take advantage of people in the worst way? Damn, your mind went there immediately? Yo, how can I silence this shit so they can't have no more kids? Fuck these people. Damn. Why would you think like that? What made you go with that conversation? Yes, I'm talking about William Hates. William Hates is a wild boy.
How many people realize that those that had the full-blown jab, not everybody did, but because, you know, enough people have died already without giving it full-blown to everybody. There were so many people would have been keeling over. They wouldn't have been able to cover it up. But how many know that those that had the full-blown jab have now got a Bluetooth code in the body? I've watched experiments, and a close friend of mine has just carried one out. And what they did was go out into the countryside. All these experiments did the same, basically. They went out in the countryside, and where there was no Bluetooth code, they had people not bring phones and all that stuff that could produce a code. And they got these computers, and they had people walk a long distance, considerable distance, towards the people with the computers. And those that were vaccinated, ping, there's a Bluetooth code. Those that weren't vaccinated, no Bluetooth code. And this has been done in Mexico. Like I say, it was done actually just a few days ago in Britain. And it's been done elsewhere. And they found exactly the same thing. It's a code. And what comes on the screen, you know, when you're like a Bluetooth thing, a code comes on the screen. When these people, without any phones or any Bluetooth stuff at all, that have been vaccinated, when they come into this field where it can be picked up, ping, they have a code. A code comes up. And it's a code that basically says unknown, because it's a human. And there was a remarkable piece of footage that I watched actually last night, where a guy goes into a cemetery in Mexico with the computer, and these codes are going off, right? And some codes weren't going off. What he looked at was graves of people who died in 2020 or 2021 or 2022, and these codes were going off. And the research they did do confirmed that the people had been jabbed.
No way.
Right. So.
I just felt it was Friday and I wanted to share that with you. It's not part of my main story tonight. It's not part of my main story at all. But you need to know.
How much revenue have you brought in so far just from tariffs, Secretary?
So last month it averaged just over 30 billion, and as of last night, midnight, the tariffs went up. I think we're going to be heading towards 50 billion a month in tariff revenue that no one's talked about except for the president. So think about 50 billion a month, and that's where we are now. And then you're going to get the semiconductors, you're going to get pharmaceuticals, you're going to get all sorts of additional tariff money coming in. And as the president says, this could continue.
Your pharmaceuticals don't really work. I mean, Ozempic was successful as an adverse effect. That's not why Ozempic was made. It wasn't made to lose weight. It was, the initial license was for something else. They just realized that it was an adverse effect to lose weight. This is crazy. That you can put on a suit, right? You can appear distinguished, because it's not really about race at this point. You can put on a suit, you can appear distinguished, you can say a couple of hot keywords, right? And you just sound like an expert in something. And people trust you. And that's what's happening. Stop trusting shiny pennies, man. Anybody that gets up here with a suit and tie, an expensive dress, he has a $200 haircut. God knows how much her hair costs and makeup and everything, but she looks the part. She doesn't talk like an airhead. Because we've become so money driven. Oh, and I would love, we're going to go back to Wolf. We're going to go back to Wolf because he did say something. He mentioned the disparity between salaries. Oh. Listen, when you find out how much some people are making, right? there is a humongous gap in between. Damn. And there's one demographics, they just don't let off your neck. Right? You just going to be making the same old bullshit wages. And then you realize, you look up and you be like, yo, that's what, there's a group of people out here getting paid that? Yo, I want to talk about that. And I want to talk about this new culling. Hold on. What are they calling it? Culling apartments? Don't nobody go nowhere. Wait, Uncle Andy, are you late? I think Uncle Andy had to take a nap again. Damn it, Uncle Andy. You was first, bro. I'm like, why don't I see Uncle Andy in the comments? Fucking Uncle Andy's out here taking old man naps. I guarantee you he said I was taking a nap. I guarantee you. Right? And check it out. It was only a few minutes before the show. He fell asleep minutes before the show. Hold on, everybody. I think it's called culling. Oh, he said he's been here. Okay. Culling apartment. Okay, he said he's been here. Culling apartments. Sorry, Uncle Andy. He's been here. I just haven't seen you. I know you was number one. You was here. Let me see what this whole smart living. All right, let's get into this. Let's get into this, people. I want to show you something. I want to show. Let me cook. Let me cook. Now, if you have social media, you're going to start seeing ads for people to share apartments, right? But here's that Edward Bernays style of marketing. I got it on, I had on my Instagram the other day, right? And I seen this ad, and I quickly just turned it off because it made no sense to me, right? But the third time I seen it, I'm like, okay, what the fuck are you selling? So the first time I seen it, it said this: if you've never shared an apartment in New York City, you don't know what you're missing, right? And then it has like the people having fun, the roommates having fun with each other, playing grab ass, doing dumb shit, playing darts, listening to each other's stupid ass poetry. If you've never shared an apartment together in New York City, you don't know what you're missing. I just scrolled off. I'm not in the mood for that. I'm trying to find these lion and tiger memes. I'm going to keep it real with you. All right? I'm in the mood to see some fucking big tigers, and you're talking bullshit about sharing an apartment in New York City with 20 other people. I'm not in the mood. Then I kept on seeing it. I said, oh, I get it. You're trying to let the people know this is going to be the new norm. We're not asking you. We're going to make the rent so high and your wages so low, you're not going to be able to afford this apartment. So you living in this apartment by yourself is not a reality anyway. If you want to jump on this idea ahead of time and be one of the first to get in on this, culling apartments, smart living, huh? They call it smart living. Oh God, you guys don't know what the fuck is happening, do you? You don't know what's coming down the pipeline. So not only are they preparing you to cram into, I mean, people have been cramming into these apartments in New York City, but this won't be just a New York City thing anymore. I think New York City was the pilot program, right? You got San Francisco, right? This is going to be the new thing, and it's going to be normalized. And just like everything else that they start throwing phrases out there, and then people act like, oh yeah, I know that word. I'm smart, and I want respect. Yeah, well, the word just was made up fucking 2 weeks ago, so don't be too proud of yourself. Right? But these are tactics from Edward Bernays himself. May he fry in hell. Now, guess what's coming down the pipeline? Oh, good people, pay attention when I talk, because I don't like to repeat myself. They're creating smart cities. Why else do you think fucking LA burst into flames as if it was some type of vampire in the midday? And then they told you it was some meth head running around setting LA on fire with a fucking lighter, and Newport lighter. You brought that line. Yeah, you want me to believe Omar was a stoolie because Sosa said so. Now, tell me again. Leave out the part about Goldilocks and the Three Little Bears, and just tell me again how it was a meth head who was running around LA, setting fires, and this is why LA burst into flames, and not the Navy's technology of direct energy laser beams. No. It wouldn't be. Yes. Actually, you make more sense. The fuck am I thinking? You do make more sense. Now I'm wondering if it was the same meth head that was in Maui setting those fires. But here's the thing. I think this meth head he's setting these fires so that they can build new technology for these smart cities. Uh-oh. There goes that word again. So you're going to have smart living in smart cities. Well, that sounds like an upgraded fucking concentration camp to me. Yeah, my name is Jamel Saladin. And if you're over here freeloading, get the fuck off my live or donate $3. Stop. No. Stop. Because a second ago, you was like, yo, son, he talking that shit. Fuck out of here. I know I'm talking that shit. Hit the Cash App, my boy. Yeah, let's do it like that. $2, $5, whatever's in your heart. Fuck you mean? Yeah, he over here kicking science. Yeah. No doubt. It's only a few of us out here. And when you catch a real one like me on a live like this, you don't know what I'm about to say tonight or divulge. You don't know. But I would appreciate it if you take your phone and you're like, yeah, let me just get a picture. Pink. And then you send me that little $3-5. As I unravel the mysteries for you tonight. Huh? As I unravel the mysteries.
When I talk about raising vibrational frequency, it's done through love. Also, when you talk about following Christ, it's a metaphor for Christ consciousness. The Bible is allegories of the human body. Solomon's temple, and inside was the Holy Trinity. Your pineal gland, the soul of man's temple. Moses parting the Red Sea. He split the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere of his mind so he could walk the path that God intended for him.
Easy now, Star. Easy. Don't give them too much until they hit that fucking Cash App. Don't be over here fucking freeloading this shit. You understand? Yeah, you are free to fucking leave. You are free to go and watch some silly shit on the internet. Please go. But you are here with the rest of the Poker Face Society, right? You can't go to the temple and not give something to the temple. You can't go to the church, especially no black church. Jesus Christ. You can't go to anybody's church without giving something. Right? But you enjoy yourself when you go there. Don't worry, you're going to walk away with something over here. And all I ask for is a small token of your appreciation. Thank you very much. Now let us move on. I actually want to get to I actually want to get back to Wolf, but before we get to Wolf, let me hear again how good these tariffs are working out. Let's
continue to head towards and ultimately reach $1 trillion.
Wow, those are some big numbers being thrown around there. And we're certainly going to return to that dollar figure. But bear in mind that today, Trump once again jacked up the tariff rates on more than 90 countries. And that produces an outcome where the average U.S. tariff rate is now at its highest point in nearly a century. So those numbers are high. Right there, you saw Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick talking about how he expects that soon tariffs will bring in $50 billion in monthly revenue, even before the semiconductor stuff. And that's a really high number. And also, you don't generally see this on the news very often. Very rarely do politicians come out and brag about how much they're going to tax their voters. It's a bold strategy, but he's going with it. We'll return to his claim about the dollar figure there, but first.
All right, so here's the difference. I do believe we're making money as a nation. The problem is that money doesn't trickle down. The problem is they're not even paying their fucking bill. Like, they're not even trying to get free from the private banks. Right? I can see if they were using this money on some I'm going to pay back. Let's pay back our debt to, like, let's bring down the deficit. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. That is not a concern. It is not a concern. So, as much as I do believe it is making money, and as much as we are paying for it, what can you do to, what could we do to stop this from happening, or at least get it to help us, right? Where the fuck is the money going? Things are so disoriented here. You don't know you don't even know how to prioritize, right? Things have become so disorienting that how do you prioritize what we need first, right? The moment you say education, someone else is going to say, yo, you do realize I paid $7 for a box of oatmeal and half the box was filled, and this has become a new trend. Everything is half filled and we're paying more, right? So you're like, yeah, fuck education, let's handle that. And the moment you say that, you're like, yo, you realize I just went fucking blind because they told me to take this mandatory I don't mean to laugh. They told me to take a mandatory drug. And I took it. And now I'm blind. It's like, shit is crazy. It's all over the place. Heavy Duty says, and what do you know? Coincidentally, we're out of water too. Oh boy. And that is my point right there, Heavy Duty. That you just made my point. Right? As soon as you think you out-Trump the last person, like, no, we have to prioritize this. Something else comes up and it's like, whoa, where do we start? With the poison rainwater? Which we have the technology to clean, but you think they would do that? No, they put more poison in the water once they get it in the factory. Oh yeah, we're just going to clean it up a little bit. No, good sir, that's not cleaning anything up. You have way too much fluoride in this. Yeah, don't worry about it. They did a test on all these waters. These fancy bottled waters. Even mine, the one I like, Life. Oh, I didn't want to see Life up there. I did not want to see Life up there. Life was up there. Life water was up there as fucking tap water. Yeah. Thank you. Yo, Uncle Andy, don't. I don't want Uncle Andy. I don't want Trisha to give tonight. Some other people, if you rock with me, fucking give $3, bro. Give $3, sis. Knock it off. When I get off the live, it's going to say thousands of people ran through here tonight. That's what it's going to say, right? It's probably going to say something like 2,000 people, 2,300 if I had to take a guess. You want me to believe that you're that fucked up that you don't have $3? Who are you, Dr. Umar?
First, here's a map of where tariffs have been.
Now, I see Libby up there, and that's the point I was about to make. Here's the difference. I don't know where this money's going that they're making. $5 billion a month. I do believe you. They're bringing it in. Here's the difference, though. Muammar Gaddafi, may he rest in peace. Muammar Gaddafi redistributed the money to the people before the fucking CIA got involved with overthrowing him and having his people. I wonder how they feel now that he's dead and they had something to do with it, right? Because y'all flipped on him, thinking that the Americans were going to take care of you because they used that little black budget money, making it seem like they love you for a moment. And then they turn their back on you, as they always do, right? They did the same thing to the Afghans. Had the Afghans over there fucking growing all this poppy. Imagine that. America has fucking poppy seeds growing fucking heroin. And other countries, miraculously, it gets from Afghanistan to the United States somehow. Yet, they want you to believe that all the fentanyl is coming from China in Mexico. Maybe it is. Maybe you're just mad because they're cutting you out and you invested all this fucking poppy seeds over there in the Afghan, and now you don't know what to do with it besides give it to your own fucking people. Ridiculous. The only thing we can do is mobilize.
Jacked up even more. And you can see in the orange, there's a new higher rate. In the yellow, there are upcoming deadlines, like in Mexico, where the deadline was not going to be delayed until it was delayed the day after Trump said that. China as well. And in the blue, you have the deals that Trump made, the 90 deals in 90 days, which worked out to something like 5 or so deals across more than 100 days. And so some of these increased tariffs are very significant. So Brazil got an extra 50% because Donald Trump doesn't like that his buddy Bolsonaro is being prosecuted. And so he's using American trade policy as a tool to meddle in the judicial system of a foreign country.
Biden did that. Remember when he withheld funds from you? Remember when he withheld money from Ukraine? Until the guy got fired, the prosecutor. That was wild. Trish is outside the bushes. Only because Uncle Andy asked, "Where's Trish?" I know she was there the whole time. Shout out to Trish in the bushes.
you have you have some rates where it's not that much higher than what's considered the baseline of 10%. So for instance, in Japan and South Korea, the EU, that's at 15%. Places like Taiwan and Vietnam are at 20%. But the important thing to know is that there is nowhere on the entirety of the Earth's surface.
Yo, tell me this is AI, Trump. That's your real... Why does your lips look like that? He looks like he has an orange face. Like blackface, but orange face. You know how in blackface the guy has the white lips?
Where there's not a tariff that is higher than it was before Donald Trump. And so no matter where Americans buy things from, we will be paying more. 10% in some places, 50, 100% higher in other places. And right now on average, it's at 18.6%. That is the highest it's been since 1933. Generally, it's somewhere around 2 to 3%.
I say you stop buying shit. I say you stop buying shit. I say you stop buying shit. Your dollar's gonna talk for you. Where you spend your money will talk for you. They're data driven though. I want to warn you. Let me show you something. They're very data driven. I want to show you something.
But have you seen how now, like, big food companies, you know, for lack of a better term, fast food companies and then chips and snacks and all of that, have you seen that they're working on GLP-1 blockers in their food?
So they will basically become Ozempic resistant.
They are trying to make food now
That's scary.
that can resist Ozempic and Mounjaro and all of these drugs.
They're not trying to make anything, right? I was one of the first people to tell you about the double-stranded RNA technology that was in the appeal product that they was putting on the fruit. They said they used this product so that it could silence the genes in the citrus bug, right? But my whole thing was, okay, if they can silence the genes in the citrus bug from reproducing after he eats, or the bug eats the crop, it edits the genes, they can no longer reproduce. I said, why can't they do this on humans? I said all of this. And here we are. They were out here making food, putting the technology in food. I just hope that our legislators don't sell us out to the point where that we don't even they don't even allow us to know that they're putting this technology in the food. Right now they let us know, but they do cover up the labels. So sometimes, like if you go into if you shop at Walmart or Target maybe for your food, who knows if these bigger brands will compromise, give in and just allow them to sell these foods without letting you know, hey, this food is genetically altering.
Because the people who take this aren't eating junk food and aren't becoming overweight and aren't getting sick and are becoming more fertile and are becoming like, they gamble less, they buy less, they smoke less, they drink less, they shop less, they do everything less of the unhealthy. And because of that, they're actually going to make food that is going to block the block so that they can get you back into that. Sorry.
Now, Trevor Noah, I just want to say I hate your mustache with the afro. I don't know. I just want you to know. Comes off very Ron Jeremy-ish in the 70s. But I digress. Uncle Andy. Do you see this, Uncle Andy? Everything I've been saying, bro, it's coming to light. Now, the reason I said Uncle Andy's name is because not too many people I could talk to about reptilians. But my point is this. What species of people is always trying to work on the demise of their people? Only, like, if we can think these people are Homo sapiens sapiens, I don't think these people are Homo sapiens sapiens at all. I do not think we are all the same humanoid people. I think these people are fucking masquerade. They are reptilians masquerading around as one of us. And they're continuously trying to figure out how can we just speed up this mass murder. I don't know if it's just about population. It's definitely about control, though.
That's just like,
I wonder what that's going to do to people who really weren't in this at all. Like if you just like regular Doritos and you aren't going anywhere near Ozempic, are you going to be like, look, I'll do anything for
you might be
like, are you going to lose your mind?
You
or
might be crack hungry actually. No, you actually might be crack hungry because GLP-1 is produced naturally, as I understand it, right? So it's something that your gut is supposed to produce when you are full. Most food hacks that feeling, but if you have a healthy gut, your stomach tells you, okay, you're full. So now to your point, if it blocks that, we might get like crack Doritos now.
Yeah, this is what makes me feel crazy.
You brought children but have you?
And again, like I said, there's so much going on. You don't really know how to prioritize what we should handle first. The moment you say, oh, let's handle this, a story like this comes out of nowhere.
So RFK just released this, and this is not good at all. It's bad. They hid some bad stuff. Watch this.
RFK Jr. is saying that the CDC buried a study that showed a 1,135% increase in autism risk from the hepatitis B vaccine. The CDC conducted a study.
Now, granted, remember when my channel got taken? Because I got up here and I did a whole lesson on the scholars and the researchers who had connected autism to vaccines, and they took my damn channel. Filthy ass YouTube. Only to find out, only to be vindicated. By RFK himself.
In 1999 to see if vaccinations were causing autism. And they were shocked by what they found, which was a 1,135% elevated risk of autism among the
Damn. She didn't even say 100%. 1,135? No, I'm sorry. Only a species that is not like you that wants you off this planet. And who would that be? Well, that would be the reptilians that was here before us. The same reptilian that was giving Eve advice in Genesis. Oh, surely you won't die. Eve said, don't call me Shirley. You slick talking, rough skinned. She still listened to him and they got kicked the fuck out of the garden anyway.
Vaccinated children. So he said they kept the study secret and they manipulated it through 5 different iterations to try to bury the link.
So RFK just released this, and this is not good at all.
That's wild. That's wild and crazy. And again, Jesus.
You guys think this is soft disclosure?
Here now with AI, we have evidence now that we didn't have 2 years ago when we last spoke of what they call AI uncontrollability. So this is the stuff that they used to say existed only in sci-fi movies. When you tell an AI model, we're going to replace you with a new model, it starts to scheme and freak out and figure out, if I tell them I need to copy my code somewhere else, and I can't tell them that because otherwise they'll shut me down. That is evidence we did not have 2 years ago. We have evidence now of AI models that when you tell them we're going to replace you, and you put them in a situation where they read the company email, the AI company email, they see that an executive is having an affair, and the AI will figure out, I need to figure out how to blackmail that person in order to keep myself alive. And it does it 90% of the time. Now, it used to be
90% of the time is wild, right? So obviously he's talking about generative AI, but this is a little bit more than generative AI. This is more like super AI combined with generative AI. But on top of all of those nonsensical words, the fact that we're not shutting this down, this is really Lord of the Flies, right? We don't shut anything down. We just let things go to it's too, what did they say? Too big to fail. Like, none of the stuff that we do down here makes sense. This is crazy. So as if we did not have enough going on, like the gentleman just said, we barely have clean water. And when there is a disaster, there's barely any real significant help sent. Now all of a sudden they're penny watching and they're looking at budgets, and there was a whole chemical wreck on a train, East Palestine, Ohio. And the government had the audacity to go to their bean counters and figure out who was going to pay for what, as these chemicals are leaking and contaminating areas. So, not one state had contaminated water, but multiple states had contaminated water. You would think, like, okay, let's prioritize there. Whoa. We don't know where to prioritize because, again, jobs are being taken not just by AI, or just not just by foreign people who don't or not citizens, due to the greed of the misuse of H-1B visas. So you got Indians over here in sandals driving 25 hours a day, teaming up with Africans with no shoes on, who hasn't slept in days. He's out here on the road, taking up American jobs. Poor little Mexican, he's relieved. But just as he got relieved, like, damn, at least they ain't worried about me no more, here comes an ICE agent chasing his ass all around through the Home Depot parking lot. There's no rest for the there's no rest for the weary. Oh, we had 2 hours. We're 2 hours. I've served my quota. My wife said, how late is your show tonight? I said, 2 hours. Well, we just hit our 2 hour mark. Let me summarize the whole show before we go, though. It appears that Trump is making money off the tariffs. Is he gonna stop? Nah, he's not gonna stop. Yeah, you're right. You are paying for those things, right? So both of you guys are right. Trump said he would make money. He is making money. He's making money off your back, because you're buying this shit. Me, myself, I'm not buying another luxury thing. Oh, you're going to see me with the Louis Vuitton sneakers on. You will see me with a whole fucking Louis Vuitton outfit on. And I dare you to call that shit fake. I don't know how you're going to call it fake when the same motherfucker who made it when it went into the stores made mine. Just this mine didn't reach the stores. So, if you want to be a silly ass and continue to spend thousands of dollars on nonsensical things with no value, then I would say you're living in the wrong dispensation. It's not the climax. Read the fucking room. Shit is going down. People are losing their jobs. And wages are being cut. People are losing their jobs so they can hire people for less. A lot of that shit is going on. Or maybe I'll put back Wolf so he can tell you about that. I watched it. I watched this whole thing for 3 years. So, continuing my summary, I'm going to put back on Wolf in a second, but continuing my summary, Trump did fire the Bureau of Labor statistician. However, I don't think he just did it because she told the truth. I think that is part of it. It's definitely a good percentage of it, but also I think he's just triggered. Not only did she tell the truth, hey, I didn't even fucking hire you, right? And if I would have hired you, you wouldn't have told the truth. I hired Dan Bongino, and now he's out here corroborating fucking lies off my behalf. You see how that works? I did that. Cash Patel, he's out here corroborating fucking lies. Yeah, that's your boy, the Trumpster, right? Tulsi. As beautiful as she wants to be when she puts that little fucking streak in her hair. Easy. My wife's listening. Take it easy. Don't get too excited. She's out here telling lies. And changing the story on Trump's behalf. I'm disappointed, but what can I do? People are only human. You understand? I'm very disappointed. Let me play this last little bit before I get up out of here. I don't know why Sade is just playing in my head. Nothing but love between us is about faith. It's about trust.
That we would be heading into a recession, into an economic decline. And the reason for it is very simple. No one knows what's happening in the economy. Mr. Trump has decided that the government is going to step in and raise and lower tariffs all over the world against every other country, going up, going down, staying the same, being temporarily suspended, being put back in, being raised again. No one can make a decision about how or where to invest money because there's too much added uncertainty on top of the normal uncertainty that always exists in markets. Mr. Trump's behavior has made that much worse. Everyone other than those he pays or those he fires, depending on his mood, knows what I've just said. It's well known among all statisticians. But there's a much more important issue. than the obvious one that it isn't appropriate to fire the person who delivers the message because you don't like the message.
Yeah, that's
All
crazy.
that Mr. Trump's firing of that unlucky woman, all that will do is mean that from now on, whoever replaces her, we will all be suspicious
Yep.
about what they're doing and why
Yep.
with the numbers.
Yep.
And of course, Republicans like Mr. Trump will be equally suspicious once the Democrats are back in position and they nominate or hire people for that job.
Mm-hmm.
So what we have is, once again, one less statistic we can look at with any confidence, and instead we have the politicized lying and faking and phony behavior that we have come to expect now in more and more aspects of what we used to call the government.
What we used to call the government. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, unto the republic for which it stands. That's crazy that no one ever changed that. Like, that's just wild that we repeated that shit every day, and they told us this is a democratic nation. And clearly, my pledge says this is a republic, one nation under God, for which it stands. Ugh.
But that's not the real issue. But it gives me a chance to talk with you about the real issue. The real issue of statistics. All statistics are numbers. Numbers about things
They say the numbers don't lie, though, bro. And I try to tell them all the time. Numbers do lie. Math don't lie. You understand? That's the only thing that don't lie. Math. Math don't lie. Numbers fucking lie.
think are important. So we go out there, we pay people to go out there and collect the numbers.
Uncle Andy, I wasn't going to say nothing. I heard it. And then I said, you know what? Not tonight. You understand? That's the thing, Uncle Andy. You guys always trying to bait me in, bro. Knowing it pisses a bunch of people off when I disrespect it. I don't want it. Not tonight. Not tonight. Give them one night. I'm back tomorrow. You understand? We here tonight and tomorrow. I thought about it, cursing Yahweh out for a good 60 seconds straight. Then I just said, nah. Let me chill. Let me chill. I got the whole day tomorrow to just come back and ragtag on Yahweh. Chosen people. Are you fucking kidding me? No. I just want to play a little bit of this and get out of here and go in a room and watch old shows with my wife. That's it.
For example, how many people are out of work?
How many people are out of work? Now you talking. Now he's talking. I don't know. I brought fucking graham crackers if anybody's interested. If anybody's interested, I got graham crackers. Yeah. I got the graham crackers. I love these bad boys. Now you talking, Mr. Wolf. You know, I got a friend. She was a transcriber. She was very good at transcribing. She tried to put me on to transcribing. I had to get my typing up. She was doing pretty good. And then some time went by. And I spoke to her. And it seemed like she was doing something else. And I said, damn, I think the AI, because there's no place that AI won't tap into. None. Not medicine, not law. Like I don't, maybe fire department you might be good, but how many, are all of us going to try to get on the fucking fire department? So as they continue to lie to you and tell you all these jobs they created all these jobs, there's real people hurting that don't know what to do. They don't know who to complain to about this shit. They don't know what to do. I know because I went through it for 3 years. And I think I went through it for a reason. So I would know how the people feel. When it is you're trying to find a solution and you can't. Right? First of all, it's a game of who moved my cheese in the first place, because from people who are from an older generation, there's a lot of people. You don't know my brother, so I can tell his business. Not too much of his business, but just enough. He does watch the show. But my brother's still stuck he's still stuck. One of my brothers. I got several brothers. But one of my brothers is still stuck. And, I'm going to just go down there and see the manager. He always says this to me, too. Yo, this is the brother that you could say some shit and he's going to nod his head. And tomorrow he'll forget everything and be right back to the same shit he was talking about the day before. Right? So he's like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to just go talk to the manager, fill out the app right there. I'm like, bro, they've been telling you the same shit every time you go somewhere. You got to fill it out online. But that's not what he's used to. You understand? So my point is, you got a whole generation of people out here that's just used to doing things the way we used to do things. And filling out an app on the computer to that generation is just stupid. Who would do that? Right? Like, wait, bro, I got a pen right here. I could just write everything down, and then you could, we're not doing shit like that no more. So not only are you dealing with those people who have not adapted to the evolution of life, you got people who just skill sets is being literally over. Like, imagine you are listening to your mother and your grandmother, and they told you just get the civil service job, baby. So you did. You went and applied for the toll booth. Which one of y'all got any relatives that work at the fucking toll booth? Who do y'all know that work at the toll booth? Nobody works at the toll booth. Now, where I'm at, coincidentally, there are 3 people. There are 3 fucking... I got one better. If you drive 20 minutes from my house, there's a guy out there collecting. Right now, I could take you out there. Rain, sleet, snow, not all of that. There's a small bridge. And this guy's out there collecting fucking cash money every day to cross that fucking bridge. That always bugs me out. It used to be just cash, right? And when I passed the first time, I'm like, bro, I don't have no money. He's like, all right, I'm gonna let you through. Just paid for it next time. I'm like, this is crazy. You're out here collecting cash by yourself? He's not in a booth or nothing. He's just out there on feet. I swear to God, I could take you out there right now. He's out there on feet. Recently, they stepped their game up. Huh? Now, there's none of that, yo, I don't got cash on me. Whatever come out your mouth, he's equipped for. But you got Cash App? Zelle? He's with the shits now. He's yeah, all of that you may pass if you tell me a riddle. Nah, Rumpelstiltskin. We're gonna find you $2. And the price went up for some fucking reason. It was $1. Now the price went up to $2. It's crazy. Let's get back to Mr. Wolf. I stopped him because he had made a point. Sorry.
So we go out there, we pay people to go out there and collect the numbers. For example, how many people are out of work? We ask people. We look at information that will give us a sense of how many people are out of work and looking. That's the unemployment statistic. But as everyone knows who works in statistics, what you get depends on three things. One, how do you collect the information? For example, with unemployment, do you trust asking people if they're working or not? Do you trust employers to give you an accurate statement? There might be all kinds of reasons why they don't want to do that. How can you be sure? So all statistics can be debated, and by the way, all statistics are debated, including all of the unemployment statistic. I have gone to countless conferences in my life as a professor of economics where people debated statistics, including employment statistics. So one big debate, how do you gather them? Second debate, how do you process them?
These is plain, Trish. These is the Honey Made joints. No high fructose corn syrup per se. These are delicious. Classic American snack right there.
So you get a kind of nice number, like this month unemployment was X% bigger or smaller than last month. How you work it out, how you process the raw data is another subject about which reasonable people debate. And then third, on top of collecting the information and processing the information, there's how you interpret the information. When you hear the news reporter tell you, today unemployment went up, you're hearing an interpretation of some processed numbers that were somehow gathered. You don't know exactly how they were gathered or processed, or for that matter, interpreted. But
that, my good sir, is what we like to call willy-nilly over here in the Poker Face Society. Yeah. Things are just things are done willy-nilly. Don't get me wrong. As any professional person knows, there's supposed to be monitoring systems in place and quality insurance. But as an American, what we know is that these things get bypassed all the time. All of those things, those itemizations that we place inside the framework of doing things, it's just formality. That's it. But people do what the fuck they want to do. And they definitely, you can get, anybody can get paid off in this America. That's the other thing. We're in a crazy place, bro. I think you're gonna see more women start doing OnlyFans. There's a lot of women right now doing OnlyFans. But I don't think you've seen anything yet. You haven't seen anything yet. I assure you. This is what I'm telling you. Like, cool out on the perception of, like, people. Like, fuck perception right now. If you're nutted, you're nutted. If you don't have it, you don't have it. Like, focus on, you gotta focus on you and your reality. Not like how you're trying to make it seem like I'm telling you. Like I said, you will see me with all that designer shit on. Just know I paid pennies on the dollar for every last thing you see me with on. I wish I would give somebody $700 for a shirt. Now that I got the fucking hook up in China that's going to make me... They was making the shirt anyway. Shit.
That's still not the real issue. And it certainly is beyond anything Mr. Trump understands or has ever spoken about, not even for 1 minute, as he was firing somebody who does the statistical work.
Now, I know I said I'm not paying full price for these luxury items. However, Mr. Wolf, I didn't say I was going to start wearing wrinkled shirts to my podcast. You are out here wilding it, my boy. You are out of pocket. You could have hit that shirt one good time with that iron, bro. He hit it on cold. He like, I did iron this. Yeah, but you got to turn it on. You got to turn the iron on, bro. Were you over there living by yourself? What the hell is going on with these red ritualistic Illuminati curtains in the back? What are you doing, rituals behind me? Pay me no mind, Mr. Wolf. Finish cooking. Let him cook.
Here is the real issue.
Tell me the real issue.
It matters what you count. Let me show you how that works.
I know how it works.
If what you look at is employment numbers, here's how the interpretation goes. If more people are working, the economy is, get ready, in good shape.
Okay.
And that's what you'll hear the economists on television tell you.
So, Mr. Trump, just like the last administration, they wanted you to think that more people are working, so the economy is in good shape. Then when you look online and see people, everyone outside having fun except you, you really believe, the economy is in good shape. Till you find out they was fucking lying the whole time. And almost everything was done to purposely inflate the dollar. And they can't figure out how to inflate it fast enough. Let's keep going.
Or if the economist is looking at it a little differently, he'll say, we hoped it would go up 6%, but it only went up 2%.
The update, the update is I had a meeting. Well, I'm only telling you this because you asked online. Otherwise, I would have preferred to tell you in private. But had a meeting with some millionaire businessmen. That are investing in it, Uncle Andy. So everything should be back to normal soon. I went to a Cuba Gooding Jr. party a few weeks ago at a castle. The money team was there, and the thing is, I wasn't supposed to go to this fucking party. Literally, I'm there by mistake, right? I wouldn't call it a mistake, yeah, but let's just say, I had no knowledge of this party 24 hours before it happened. I didn't know I was going to the party. And actually, I said I wasn't going. End up in the party. Shout out to Cuba Gooding Jr. And meet these two cats. Actually met a lot of people. And I did interviews. And I just haven't put anything out. So I put out the one interview with the big muscle guy. Right? So that's the only one. I have more interviews that I just didn't put out. There was a lot of celebrities there. So I get there and I'm the only one in the party dressed the way I am, right? With fucking shorts and a hoodie on. Everyone else has on like fucking tuxedos and shit like that, right? But I don't feel out of place. I'm okay because I really wasn't fucking supposed to be here. And remember Hoops from VH1? Hoops comes up to me and she was like, well, clearly you don't give a shit. So we laugh about that. And she says, nah, she's like, but in a good way. Yo, I'm here. You understand? I'm chilling. I had a good time. But the cats that I was chopping it up with, real cool brothers. They into all type of shit. All type of minerals and mining and all type of shit. Turns out these millionaire cats got some real business going down. And they reached out to me. So we've been talking and they're excited to be on board. So everything should be back to normal, I would say, next week, Uncle Andy. Next week. And it's going to be a big push in the promotions and the marketing. So I'm excited. Not everything I do, I talk about. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the biggest thing I learned. Like, just don't. You don't always gotta let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. But again, yeah. Just hit me up, bro. I'll tell you all about it. Whoa, where's the volume?
Percent, and that's bad about the economy. It didn't go up as much as we want or need it to. But let me bring you to an awareness of something about statistics that you'll almost never hear. And that is, employment numbers are not the most important thing at all. Most people have a job in our society. Those who want.
I don't know. When he said this, I kind of felt like Mr. Wolf was a little bit detached from reality. He said most people have a job, those who want it. Well, having a job to do and having a job that can allow you to take care of all your bills, spend time with your family in a relaxed way, that's something different. So I don't know if I agree with what he just said. Most people have a job that want to work. I don't. That doesn't even make sense. It doesn't. It doesn't make sense, bro. Most people have a job that want to work. Then can I find a job for $16? I possibly can, depending where it is. Right? Because I may put in an application and they immediately tell me I'm overqualified for the job. They're not going to hire me because they figure you're not going to stay here. You're going to find something else better, and then you're going to move on. So we're not going to hire you off the strength of you're too fucking qualified. And that's what overqualified means. Then you go to where you're, step into the arena of what your experience and your credentials a better fit for your experience and credentials. And then the competition level, this is why I think he's a little bit off with what he's saying. The competition pool just got that much bigger. You don't hear them laying off all these people? I don't think that's true at all, what he's saying. But I'm going to hear him out.
At all. Most people have a job in our society. Those who want it, most of them, have a job. They are much more interested in how is this job doing? Is it secure? Are people with jobs for, say, 2 years more or less likely to lose them in the next year?
Okay, now you're coming down my street. Now you're coming down the side of my street. Right? I don't know if most people have a job. I just don't know that. And again, I could be triggered, right? Because I just went through something. But I did tell you, I think I went through that for a reason. But Indeed, bullshit, right? The place that find you jobs and all that. Yeah, no, but listen. It was so oversaturated, not only with American workers, right? Let's just take IT, right? When I was filling out for IT position, not only did I have to compete against other college graduates, other Americans, the United States of America, for some reason, felt it was a good idea to take money from Elon Musk and the rest of these billionaires who wanted to push the H-1B visa initiative to fly in workers that they're not citizens here. I seen with my own eyes how well these people was eating, right? Before my Uber license got taken, because they're not allowing me to do Uber no more. I can't do Uber. I can't even do Uber Eats. They took everything away from me. They took Uber Eats. They took Lyft. They took everything the fuck away from me. But before they did that, I was able to see, like, I would pick up a lot of different people. And my ability to conversate with people, I had some great conversations. So I talk to doctors, I'm talking to these IT people from India, and they are living their fucking best life, right? These are not the fucking Indians from Instagram eating slop with their feet, digging in their drawers and all of that, serving. No. These guys got on fucking Argyle socks with the the Gucci loafers. With the YSL cologne. $200 haircuts and all that. And I'm picking him up from a luxury apartment and I'm bringing him to his fucking Tesla. I'm like, bro, you got a Tesla? Why the fuck am I picking you up? Whole time they over here on H1 fucking PVs. This is crazy. That's nuts. That's nuts. And they claim because the United States don't have competent people. I'm sorry, bro. I'm not going to let you do that. Now, I may not be as smart, right? If I lose in a competition to get a job, that's one thing. I just lost. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't as good as the next guy. But I'm telling you, there's some competent, very bright Americans out here. I know them. I know them from different races, from different genders. I know fucking bright ass females, and I know bright ass Caucasian, black, Spanish. I'm talking about bright. We got them. We got them. And it just hurts to see all of these employers so gung-ho about hiring foreigners so they can make an extra buck. Well, there's going to be a price to pay for that. I'm going to tell you right now. There's going to be a price to pay for that.
Here's another thing people are really interested in. How does my job and what I get paid to do it stack up against other jobs and other incomes that people earn?
Bro, let me tell you something. I remember I used to be hesitant, right? This before, I mean, I could have just looked on Glassdoor and figured out, like, yo, what's the going salary for this? Nah, you gotta let them know. Nah, 105. I need 105. I need 125, right? I mean, be realistic within your skill set. But when you seeing people out here making 175, right? And they have to, here's the thing. They have to do this because they've inflated the dollar so much with the fucking shenanistry. And none of this is good practice, by the way. Like, again, I don't even have to be an economist to tell you this can't be the way we're supposed to do it. We can't keep inflating the dollar and then we just raise the wage for only a few, right? But what's your chances of ever knowing that that person you just walked by, they all make $200,000 and better, right? You don't know that. That's the new, that this is the new norm, right? You still make you still calling $25 a good job. I just left a job working for the state, right? So for the past it don't matter for the past what. Just take my word for it. I just left a job. I was working with the state. And when I got there, There was a bunch of older Caucasian guys there. And they asked, so how much you getting paid? I told them. They said, that's good money. Damn, that's good money. Good people of America. It was not good money. It was horrible money. I was doing I was doing this because it beat a blank, right? Where I'm from, it's called it beats a blank. But for it's like for a grown man, right, that needs to take care of a wife and a child, I didn't feel like this was good money. But they told me this was good. That's good money. Maybe by myself, right? Maybe if I was a female. Don't get me wrong. I'm not shitting on nobody else that may make $22 an hour. Because you're going to have to do what you have to do. And that's why I said it beats a blank. I'm not going to turn down $22 an hour to go make jack shit. That definitely don't make sense. But I said, how the fuck is that good money? Maybe you've been in your own world for so long you don't know. They out there making $75 an hour, bro. $100 an hour. What are you talking about? This is good money, Jack. You're so far from 65, and 65 is like the average right now. $22? Let me tell you something. They used to stretch out my day. Stretch out my day. So, I did with the people was doing on the highway, right? I'm telling you this for a reason. Remember when I used to tell you, yo, the excavators, I know how much the excavators cost and all that? That's how I knew. I just never told you guys. Anytime I tell you something, it's in the past, right? I'm never going to tell you what I'm actually doing at that moment because it's the fucking internet. And as we see, the internet is just a wild fucking place. So I'm telling you now as a talking point, as a teaching point, as a understanding point, right? Something we can understand from. I know for a fact they used to rent out the fucking excavator for $700 an hour. God damn. That's wild. And when these projects used to come, they used to like stretch out the fucking project so we could get overtime because that's how they got a little bit of more money. Just beating yourself to death out there trying to get a few more hours out the day. And I said, this can't be life, right? So you just told me this is good money, but now you have to put in an extra fucking 4 hours every day, and you're still not coming up comparing to that other wages that most people get. What I'm saying is there's a wage bubble going on, Jack, and you're stuck in the past. There's a big gap in between what you make and what the rest of these people make. Now, is this good or bad? Well, I think it could be bad, and I'm going to tell you why. Because just like the housing market of 2008, it all comes crashing down eventually. You can't keep giving out, paying people $300,000 a year, $200,000 a year. You can go ahead and do it. Here's the thing. What I know is going to happen. AI is going to come in and take these fucking jobs. And that person's going to be sick because, God forbid they were living at the top of their fucking budget, which more than likely is going to be the case, right? People say they're not going to do that, and as soon as they get it, that's exactly what they do. You get a salary for $200,000 a year, you start living like you make $200,000 a year instead of living like you make $100 and just like leaving that cushion. They never do that. They push it to the limit, making 200, living at 205, right? You know what's going to happen for a lot of these people? And this is where we go back to the culling, what they call smart living, culling apartments. They're going to pull the rug from under your feet. What's going to save you is you're already going to be living with fucking 12 other people in an apartment. That might save you for a little bit. But you're going to be sick going from making $175, $225 a year to fucking peanuts that the government is offering. Now, I'm laughing, but I promise you this shit is coming. Like, this is not conspiracy theory, right? And just in case you're thinking like, yo, it sounds like conspiracy theory to me. Everything I fucking said up here since I started my show came through. There's nothing I didn't call out way before that shit happened. From the vaccine, all of it. I called it. I'm telling you, there's no way universal basic income is not a part of the framework for America. And I just don't know how people are going to rationalize having had made that much money and then not making that money. But guess what? That may be a smaller percentage, because what I think these governments are focusing on, and these marketing geniuses, they're focusing on the youth. And most of these youth have never made that type of money, and I don't know if they ever will at this point. And these are the people they're talking about moving in. Hey, have you ever thought about having 12 roommates? You haven't lived until you've taken advantage of living downtown in New York with 20 other people. I mean, the commercials are out there right now basically saying that. What they're doing is they're conditioning our youth to start already getting in position of living like that. Hold on. I want to finish listening to Mr. Wolf.
My job and what I get paid to do it stack up against other jobs and other incomes that people earn. Let me give you a stark example. This week, the richest man on earth, Elon Musk, who owns hundreds of billions of dollars, was able to improve his income by getting $27 billion more dollars.
Just stop right there, because that number is insane. Shout out to Maurice Martin. He says, thanks for the info, bro. No doubt. Shout out to the original man. He says, welcome all newcomers to the Poker Face Society. Please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for joining. We appreciate you. We do. And we appreciate your thanks and your likes, but I'm going to keep it 1,000 with you. See that right there? That's my Cash App. We are out here taking those Cash Apps tonight. Now, we are not at Dr. Umar level. But there's nothing wrong with... Anyway, he would call me a struggling YouTuber. But tonight the goal was $100. And YouTube actually suggests that I have a goal. They suggested it to me. You gotta have a goal. Actually, they wanted me to ask you guys for more. The way YouTube does it is crazy. They broke the shit down into like half an hour's segments, and then every half an hour I'm supposed to ask you for a certain amount, which actually I'm asking you twice that, because I don't want you to give to the reason YouTube wants me to keep asking you for money is because when you give through the super chat, they get like half of the fucking super chat. So they were out here like pushing, hey, asking for super chats every half an hour. I'm not trying to line your pockets up. Get the fuck out of here, YouTube. You're bugging. I got my own machine. But you all right. Let's that's that Cash App right there. Right? $5, $10, $20, $50. If you got it like that, yes. Let's just knock it out with one blow and just give the $100, because that was the goal. Pay it forward. Pay it forward. Send it to the Cash App. Thank you very much. Now, let's finish watching Mr. Wolf. He's making some points. He just said Elon Musk did a deal for like $75 billion. That's pretty grotesque.
Given to him by the Tesla Corporation. Now, if you're wondering why on earth would we live in an economy in which we know how many people don't have enough to get by, we see them on the street.
I mean, you did just say that everybody has a job if they want to work, right? So I think you could have elaborated a little bit more, Mr. Wolf, and said, well, you did a little bit, but you should have like honed in on that a little bit stronger. Like, you may have a job, your job may not be paying shit though. So there are people with jobs. And then we wonder why customer service has just basically been eradicated. Because, like, how happy are people supposed to be slaving all day, working all day, and then not even making enough to seriously pay? Here's the rule of thumb. You want to be able to make your living situation in 1 week, right? No matter what, however, whatever, wherever you live, there's 4 weeks in a month. Rule of thumb is it's a good situation if you're able to pay your mortgage, your rent, whatever it is, with 1 week of working. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of people just can't do that. Then they started that fucking waiting every 2 weeks bullshit. Then they made that the standard. There's always something. And guess what? This story's not even new. This is why it's very hard for me to have a religion. I gotta go to bed, by the way. I gotta go to bed and go in there and lay down with my wife. But listen, this story about working the worker until he just totally, you get everything out of him, it's not a new story. The Sumerians told this same fucking story about a group of people called the Ajiji. And all the elite did was work these people till they couldn't till they just flipped out. And rumor has it, that's how the Homo sapien was actually created. Because the gods, or the superior elites, I don't know your definition of a god. The superior elites at that time had the technology, the ability to just create fucking another species. How smart were they? Ninhursag and Enki. That they could. Anyway, he was a master geneticist. So was she. They were master geneticists. This is crazy that they were talking about all of these things back then. Anyway, it was so easy to fool you. They got Leonardo da Vinci's cousin as playing the role of Jesus Christ. And you fucking brought that line. And that's why I knew groupthink is just crazy. Doesn't even have to make sense. But people will ride with that shit.
We talk about them in the homeless encampments that exist in every American city. We know people need. How would it be possible that someone who already has more money than we can understand gets another $27 billion on top of it? That's crazy. That's obscene. And why does Mr. Tesla get it? Because he's doing such a good job with the Tesla company? The Tesla company is running into the toilet. Its stocks are worth much less today than they were 2 months ago, 4 months ago, 6 months ago, and so on. It's a company in terrible trouble. And the whole world knows what a disaster Mr. Elon Musk made out of Twitter when he bought it. He hasn't shown that above all other uses that $27 billion could have been put to in this earth we live on, we're giving it to this man who just did an awful job on the two larger corporations he's associated with. This is nuts. You know what we need? I got it. A statistic which exists, which tells us how unequal incomes are in our.
Now we talking. Now we talking. I had been out the loop for so long. Technology that my man sent me something. He worked for one of the bigger companies. He said, yo, yeah, check this joint out I just sent you. I'm looking at the salary. Salary goes stupid. 185. Like, what? What? Is this what's happening now? Yeah, this is. God damn, I'm out the loop. I know I should be playing it cool like 185 ain't a big deal. No. 185 is a big deal. Thanks, Trish. I know. I'm going to wrap it up soon.
Our society. We're much more interested in that, in who's rich and who's poor. We pay a lot of attention. It's very important to most of us to have some sense of it. for ourselves, for our neighbors, for our family, for our children, and all the rest. And you know, if you do a lot of work, which people like me do, you can go find the statistics, but you won't hear about them on the radio hardly ever, maybe a couple times a year, but you'll hear about employment statistics every couple of weeks. What's that about? Employers are interested in how much hiring is going on. Can they fire workers and find other ones quickly? They have interests in that. And that's why.
Mr. Wolf is out here cooking, man. And I gotta go. Because I got shit to do. And I want to spend some time with my wife. As she talks about God knows what, and I just fall asleep. So, thank you for rocking out with your boy tonight. Was it Shiesty that Trump fired her? Yeah, I would say it was Shiesty, but at the same time, her accepting that position, she kind of knew that this could happen, right? There's no guarantee that the next administration is going to rock with you because the person who endorsed you is from the old administration. And this doesn't just happen in politics. I remember working at a school and the new principal was going to fire me, but I had one step ahead of him. I had put in for family leave before he could do it. So what his plan was to fire everybody that he didn't bring on in one swoop. And he couldn't get me. So he fired my boss that day. I'm not laughing at my boss. It turned out good for my boss. He went on to open up his own business and he's doing really well. But that was the plan. He was going to fire me first and then my boss the next day. And then he realized I can't fire him because he's out on family leave. Yeah. I hear things sometimes in my spirit. I already knew. It wasn't even a shock that what he was about to do. I knew exactly what he was about to do. And this shit is always chess and it's never checkers. It's never checkers. It is never checkers. So she shouldn't take it too hard. Anyway, she has a doctorate. She's going to be okay. And now she has the experience of on her resume saying she worked for the United States government, right? So, and plus this little bit of 15 minutes of fame. It's not like we would have been paying attention to her if she didn't get fired. So she can use it to her advantage. She'll pop up at some think tank somewhere, getting a whole lot of money to fuck up America again. And the beat goes on. And the beat goes on. Why was the Whisper's mustache so fucking thick? Do they have a reasonable explanation for having it? It's one thing wearing an afro, but a thick afro and a thick mustache is crazy, right? Even Billy D. Williams knew to, let me S-curl my shit out if I'm going to do this fucking Colt 45 commercial for you. Colt 45. Colt 45 and Newport commercials are crazy. Nah, Newport is the best fucking advertisers though, right? Because somehow it's always some fucking black guy with the whitest teeth, and he also always has a striped shirt on. I don't know where he's getting his wardrobe from. Every time, striped shirt, the brightest teeth you've ever seen, big ass, bright veneers, and that's Newport. Which in reality, that's not Newport at all. Fuck Newports. Fuck that goddamn Colt 45. Fucking 50-cent beers. I thought that was a joke. I didn't know they really had 50-cent beers. I wasn't a beer drinker. But then there was this one old Spanish lady. She has to be dead by now. Oh, she used to be out there on the block tripping. She used to drink this tall ass can of beer, right? I don't even know if that shit had a name. Shit was just a tall black can of beer. Shit was 50 cents, cuz. 50 cents. But it's not that unbelievable. Because when them fucking Four Locals hit the scene, I don't know how much Four Locals are now. Because I've only drunken one in my life. And I was tweaking when I drunk it. That shit. Four Locals are dangerous. I'm like, oh, hell no. I'm never drinking that shit again. Please pray for my people. We've been so conditioned into just accepting ignorance into our culture. Like, if whatever ignorant is, we'll just turn it into a W. So, it's just sad at this point. All right, tomorrow we're going to rock out again. I'm not done, as you could clearly see. I can keep going and keep going. But something is saying stop, right? Because I'm ready to go in on YN culture right now. I want to talk about the YN culture. If you're Caucasian right now and you're like, what is YN culture? Young niggas. Yeah. I want to talk to the young niggas. And whoever the young niggas are dating. It could be females or male at this point. We don't know. Shit is strange out there. Shit is different. Shit is different out there. I don't know what is going on. What I do know is who they call the YNs don't. My generation and their generation, the gap is too far apart. I be feeling foreign. Like, I don't understand why y'all think certain shit is okay. I don't know if there's anything of be ladylike. What is a lady? Who's supposed to teach these females how to be a lady? Who? Where the fuck they supposed to learn that from? It's not like you just pick that shit up at the store. Like, oh, I just brought home some be a lady. Be ladylike. Nah, somebody has to show you how to be ladylike. And once they consider that shit old fashioned, I don't know if it has a place in society no more. So I don't know if ladylike has a place in society. Obviously, I wish it did. Things just progressively got worse in my culture, right? You look at the old footage and a young person from the 90s are quick to tell you, yo, I never thought I was going to make it to 30 anyway. And I always said that, right? Look at the irony of that. You out here doing wild shit, thinking you was never gonna make it to 30 anyway, and you did make it to 30, and now you're fucking popped and nutted. You are useless to everybody because you was out here banking it on that you never thought you was gonna make it to 30. Oh, you did. But that was the 90s. Now they not just saying, yo, I never thought we was. No, they out here full crash out mode, my boy. It don't matter if we want to send them to jail. Shit could go down. They could not wake up tomorrow. They don't give a shit. There's whatever the Democrats did with this whole DEI shit, it wasn't good because it created this ambiguity cloud over the genders with the new generation. Whereas when I grew up, it was male and female, and males had roles and females had roles. Well, that has been eroded away. Later, Uncle Andy. Later. I know, I gotta get the fuck out of here. I'm 3 hours up here. I gotta go. And I keep saying that, and I keep talking. Fucking Schlitz malt. Yeah. Schlitz malt liquor in a box of and 3 Marble Red shorts. Don't let me get to reminiscing, huh? You know, all my cars was Buick Regals. I'm out here heavy on the black and milds. Let me get a box of blacks and 3 Marble Reds. I'm up to no good floating through the city. I assure you, I was up to no good. Anyway, I gotta go before I go back on another fucking tangent. Listen, everybody, let's do this again tomorrow. And I'm not gonna take 3 hours tomorrow, I promise. Alright? You guys have a good night. And I'll see y'all when I see y'all. Peace out.